What's good with y'all? What's good? What's good? Now I want to come on here real quick and I actually want to talk about why numbers in your life aren't as important as you think. Now, before we get into why numbers aren't as important as you think, you gotta realize that every single thing in this life is based off of some type of numerical value. How much stuff you have is a number. How many clicks, likes, and validation you get, it's a number. The weight on the scale, it's a number. Okay? Everything in this life is predicated upon some type of number. The way that we live our life is based off of a fucking clock, a number. Numbers are not that important. Everything is based off of some type of number. Everything is based off of a clock. Everything is based off of some type of, oh, you have 0 things or you have 100,000 things. It's not that important. Especially if we're talking about material possessions and values, there's no amount of material possessions and values that can equate to the amount of success you can have. You don't have 1, 2, 3 numbers of success, okay, but you can have 1, 2, 3 numbers of shoes. You being successful is something that you are, not something that you could buy or something that you could get. You can't buy happiness. You can't buy time. Time is the most valuable asset that nobody owns. But what you must realize is that time is an illusion. Okay, although you can't buy time, you can't buy happiness, you can become happiness, and you can become the time that encompasses the passage of reality. There is no such thing as numbers. Dismantle your concept of numbers. In this modern day society, we allow numbers to dictate how successful or how far we've come in this life. It's like we let numbers in this modern day society dictate how successful we are, how great of a person we are. And although numbers, in this case money, is very important to some extent, money is only going to make you a great person if you're already a good person. The same way that money is going to make you a horrible person if you're already a bad person. Numbers and money is supposed to be a way to boost yourself up and to help yourself and to help others, not to bring yourself and other people down. Money and numbers is an addition to who you are as an etheric and infinite being. There's no such thing as money, bro. There's no such thing as time, bro. Because if you strip away these concepts of money, time, age, this, that, and the third, that all these are numbers, then who are you at your core? We allow a number on a fucking screen to dictate how much validation we have as people who use social media. Look, as of right now, I may not be garnering the most amount of views, clicks, likes, comments on my videos, on this content, on my influencing journey through the internet, but that doesn't make any less of my videos successful. Okay, and that really goes for anybody. Just because you have, you post something on social media, just because you do something that can be backed by numbers through the form of other people, just because you don't have a lot of it, doesn't make it any less successful or any less potent as someone that say, let's just say Kylie Jenner on social media or on Instagram. You gotta realize, bro, that when it comes to the Matrix, right, the Matrix uses certain things to keep you on a lower vibrational frequency, if you will. And the same way that we view people as being on a high vibration and a low vibration is the same way that we deem people who have a lot of money as being successful and not successful if they don't have a lot of money. Even if we're talking about weight loss and things like that, we as people, and I'm speaking from experience, we as people get so addicted to the number on the screen. And coming from experience as somebody who was at one point on a weight loss journey, we get so addicted to the numbers on the scale, but at the end of the day, you have to realize that it is just a fucking number with so many variables as to why it fluctuates every single day. You can go on a run and lose weight. You can take a shit and lose weight. You can eat a fucking french fry and gain weight. It's not about the number that's being portrayed on the scale. It's about how you feel in your body and in your mind. Think of it like this. Somebody who's really quote unquote fat can be, really healthy, but someone who's really quote unquote skinny according to the scale could be really unhealthy and on the brink of fucking death. There's no amount of number in this world that can tell you as a person how you feel on an individual level. And this is why I don't ever weigh myself anymore, because I can't let a number that, a fucking machine tells me, I can't let that number dictate who I am and how I feel mentally and emotionally. And even when it comes to money, bro, I say this in so many of my videos, we have to change our perspective on how we see money to this day. Because a lot of the time, bro, most of the people who have a lot of money aren't actually fucking happy. I'd rather be poor as shit, bro. I'd rather be poor as fucking dirt and be the happiest man alive as opposed to having all the riches, all the money, all the fame, all the power, and have nobody, have nothing, not even have a stable support structure, not even a good support structure, just a stable support structure. And it's so easy nowadays to let money and numbers dictate how we feel and the type of person that we are/become. It is so easy nowadays to get on social media and see somebody who's wearing a specific thing, and you actually tell yourself that because they're wearing this certain thing, I have to wear that so I can get numbers that are synonymous with the person that I'm trying to become. And like I say, comparison is the thief of joy. And because you're comparing yourself, you're the one who's quote unquote stuck in the matrix. You're putting this life to be authentic, okay? It sounds cheesy, it sounds corny, but why fit in when you were born to stand out, okay? Why put a limit on yourself? Why let the sky be the limit when you're cosmic, okay? You don't have to listen to anybody. You don't have to listen to numbers. You don't have to listen to anything as pertaining to age. At the end of the day, these are all concepts. These are all labels. And when you allow yourself to disassociate and disconnect yourself from said labels that hold people down, you can genuinely be free. It's like when it comes back to, material value and possessions, when we look at brands and things like that, the illusion of choice is a real thing. And I could most definitely make another video about that. But when it comes to material values and possessions, we go to the store, and what is considered luxury, okay? What's considered luxury is Dior, Prada, Gucci, Babe, Nike, this, that, and the third. And if you can't afford that, you're seen as poor. Or if your morals are different and you want other things out of life than to be materialistic, you're considered poor. You're not considered of luxury, okay? It's as if like what costs the most amount of money fucks you up more mentally, and what costs the least amount of money, aka being introspective, wanting to go buy fruit, etc., this is what makes you poor of that lower echelon. And people will genuinely go out of their way to make you feel like you're less, or that you're invalidated because of the fact that sometimes people can't afford certain things, or that because you're not born a fucking millionaire or a billionaire. This is why in music we hear people talking about flashing money, flashing guns, flashing a certain amount of this, a number of this, a number of that, because the society is ran and dictated off of numbers. And another reason why numbers are messed up and don't matter as much as we say they are is because even though the way that we age is based off of a number, we're the only organism, the only species on this planet who age ourselves based off of time. Every 365 days we say, oh, I'm 8, I'm 9, I'm 10, I'm 11. And because we see other people who talk about themselves being at a specific age, we subconsciously put ourselves in a state of having to now look like that when we get to that specific age. This is why people who get to 65 to 80 to 90, they talk about how they are this age, and as younger people, we indoctrinate ourselves with the idea that we are this years old, as opposed to being this years young. And don't get me wrong, ages and numbers are very important. It is a milestone to be 18 years old. That's very important to me. But at the end of the day, age comes with wisdom, okay? Age doesn't come with, you not being able to do things. Every time I talk about people who don't want to get old, they always talk about being in a fucking nursery home or, an elderly shelter and things like that with diapers, but they're thinking about it from the worst case scenario. Never in a million years should it ever be disrespectful to ask somebody what their age is. And the argument for that is that, as a woman, you want to stay young, you want to stay youthful, but at the end of the day, you're trying to cancel off, or you're trying to close off the inevitable aging. Aging is a very beautiful thing, but don't constrict yourself based off of a number. I may be 18 years old in this physical body, but eternally, I don't age. Before I get off this thing, I want to quickly, very briefly, just talk about angel numbers. Now, when it comes to angel numbers, I think that for certain people, angel numbers can be cool, but me personally, I don't put any stock or authority into angel numbers. And I say this specifically because in today, society, when we talk about spirituality, people love talking about the astrology, the crystals, the angel numbers, and this and that. But at the end of the day, it's only as powerful or as meaningful as you make it. And a lot of the time, when people talk about an angel number meaning this or that or this or that, 111 means your intuition, 222 means support, 333, so on and so forth, right? At the end of the day, there's no definition to a fucking number. There's no definition to a number sequence. Although it can serve as a synchronicity for some people if you put stock and authority and power into it, when you put meaning into it. But if you don't, at the end of the day, your life is not going to change. And if you get into the astrological meaning of certain numbers, you know, when you add up the numbers 333 or 444, that correlates to specific planets. And that allows, you know, if you understand the astrology or the astrological meaning of certain number sequences, that can dictate the type of energies that you may come in contact with. So it's not just about, you know, 111 having a static meaning. It's about the more esoteric definition or meaning to a specific situation that you may be going through. But with that being said, I love myself through you. We're going to rock out. Have a beautiful, blessed, productive, and successful day. And remember, like I say in damn near every single video, the goal of life is not just to be infinitely great. It's to be greater than infinity.